First seen as a Verizon exclusive, the Krait Turbo, later as the Moto Max in Latin America, Motorola has now brought its top-of-the-line flagship to India labeled the Moto Turbo. On paper, this phone has almost everything you could ask for in a smartphone, at a pretty decent price nonetheless. So how does it hold up in reality? Well, that's what we aim to find out in this video. But before we do, if this is your first time here or in case you just can't remember, my name's Ash, this is C4E Tech and you're watching my full review of the Moto Turbo. Let's get started. Apple and later HTC and Sony have created a whole metal and glass up premium kind of vibe. On the other end of the spectrum, we have Samsung, who until recent times rehashed the same old design, causing a plastic's cheap kind of sentiment. So that's what public perception is these days. For me though, plastic was never the problem. Say for example with Samsung, the design was. I honestly believe if designed right, a phone built out of plastic could feel as premium as one built out of metal or glass. And that's seemingly the statement that Motorola wants to make here. We have plastic to the sides, micro USB port at the bottom, the power button and volume rockers that house the nano SIM slot to the right, a 3.5mm headphone jack up top, and nothing to the left. The back's made out of ballistic nylon. It's pretty interesting. Here we have the 21-megapixel camera flanked by the dual LED flash, lower below the Motorola branding, and at the bottom 2 microphones. To the front, up top we have a grill that houses the earpiece and a single front-facing speaker, the sensors, and a 2-megapixel front-facing camera. Lower below, the 5.2-inch display and the capacitive back, home, and recent apps keys at the bottom. With a thickness of 11.2mm and weighing in at 176 grams, the Moto Turbo is not the sleekest device. It's not gonna turn a lot of heads, but it definitely does not feel cheap. To be honest, I prefer using this over say the glass and metal Xiaomi Mi Note that I'm currently testing. Why? No matter how great Gorilla Glass is, say for example sand will scratch it. So with devices that have glass to the back, you need to be a little bit extra careful where you put it. And I have no such qualms when using the Moto Turbo. Additionally, the phone's also ergonomic. The curvature helps it fit into the palm of your hand quite comfortably. The increased weight wasn't really noticeable even in the hours that I spent talking on this phone. And yeah, call quality is great too. Underneath the hood, the Moto Turbo is powered by a Snapdragon 805 chip. That's 4 krait 450 cores clocked at 2.7 GHz each, coupled with an adreno 420 GPU and 3 gigs of RAM. There's also 64 gigs of onboard storage without any room for expansion. Anyway, as you can see, when it comes to synthetic benchmarks, the Turbo performs very well. With real day-to-day usage scenarios like gaming, it again had no issues running anything we threw at it with ease. It's a little weird that the Moto Turbo has only one front-facing speaker though, given that even the mid-range Moto G from last year had 2. Anyway, the speaker's loud enough and audio via the included earpods was also good. Now let's talk about that display. Gorilla Glass 3 covered 5.2-inch Super Amoled display with a Quad HD resolution. That's 565 pixels per inch. Insanely dense. I like Super AMOLED displays, but I'm not a fan of TouchWiz. You guys probably know that already. Anyway, sadly, I wasn't able to get my hands on either Moto X, so barring a couple of Gionee phones, I've never used a non-Samsung phone with a Super AMOLED display. This means I was pretty psyched for the Moto Turbo. Sadly though, after spending some time with it, I have mixed emotions. For starters, this display is a little warm at most times. I did get used to it in a few days and it does more than make up for it with its insane sharpness, great contrast, deep blacks and good sunlight legibility. But what bothered me the most is that at a lower brightness levels, this screen gets a purple hue, meaning I hate using this phone in bed at night. While that might be good for my relationship, it still is disappointing nonetheless. So anyway, moving on, all this is powered by a 3900 mAh non-user replaceable battery. On a looping video playback test, the Turbo lasted about 14 hours before running out of juice. Now, I took this phone with me to the Galaxy S6 launch event in Delhi and my day went something like this. I woke up in my hotel by 6 a.m. I guess, listened to some music, got a cab to the launch event, GPS on for a bit, took tons of pictures, a few videos as well at the event, was active on social media, tweeting and posting all day, meaning Wi-Fi and 3G were always on. And also, I was on the phone for about an hour, I guess, calling people to see where they were, dealing with a customs issue back home. And I got back to my room by around 11, 12 in the night, I guess, and I was too tired to take my laptop out. So I watched a couple of episodes of The Simpsons, so that's about 40 minutes on the Moto Turbo before sleeping off. So I wake up the next day morning to find my turbo still alive and kicking with 10 to 15% battery left. Now that's impressive. Additionally, the Moto Turbo ships with a turbocharger on board and also supports wireless charging. Next up, let's talk about the camera. The 21 megapixel rear camera performs very well. Images have ample amounts of detail, colors are quite natural, no issues with exposure either. The f2.0 lens ensures that there's a decent amount of bokeh. That being said, the shutter speed's not the fastest though. The UI is similar to what we've seen from Motorola in the past. Tap to shoot, you can set exposure or focus by dragging the ring. Slide from the left to bring up the options menu. Well, it's a little different from other camera UIs. It is a UI that's pretty easy getting used to. The Moto Turbo can also shoot 4K video at 24 frames per second. That's a little weird since most of the phones shoot at 30 frames per second, but the quality is good. The footage seems stable enough despite the lack of optical image stabilization. Let's now move on to the software. Out of the box, the Moto Turbo runs on Android 5.0 Lollipop, and this is an almost stock version of the UI. We have all Google apps and the Google Now Launcher as default, but Motorola has added a few of their own apps and tweaks here. You'd probably have seen these before with the Moto X, but as someone using a Motorola flagship for the first time, I was pretty impressed. Launching the camera with a double twist of the wrist has been by far the most accurate and useful gesture that I've used to launch the camera, and this is on any smartphone that I've used till date. The Moto display option that shows notifications when the display is off by just lighting up the required pixels is brilliant. Lets you check what apps require your attention at just a glance. And the Moto Turbo also always listens, meaning I could just say, "Hey Moto, what's up?" and follow up with voice commands. It does seem to pass things off to Google Now far too often though. The Moto Assist basically lets you decide what notifications to let through under some set scenarios. Barring these and the camera app, it's stock Android throughout, meaning the Moto Turbo is responsive, everything's rapid, fast and smooth, apps open up quick without any lag. With that being said, let's now talk about the price. 42,000 rupees, that's a pretty sweet price. Yes, there are other phones that are priced lower, the Mi 4, the Huawei Honor 6, Honor 6 Plus, the OnePlus One, but the Moto Turbo manages to outspec all of them. It also provides an almost stock version of Android and is available without any strings attached, no invites, no flash sales, none of that hoopla. Well, yes, I am a bit disappointed with the display, but the pros that the Moto Turbo has to offer do far outweigh the cons here. And I am seriously tempted to hold on to this device as my daily driver. So I'd say if you are considering the Moto Turbo, go for it. It's a brilliant device that'd be worth your money. Anyway, that's just me though. What do you guys think? Do you agree? If not, do let me know why in the description down below. And if you do want to pick a Moto Turbo up, you can do that from flipkart.com. But before you do, I'd suggest you sign up with bonusbay.in. Bonusbay is a free cashback site that provides you cashback each time you buy something online. You just need to go to bonusbay.in. You can log in with your Facebook ID or create a new one. It's easy, and once done, select from a huge list of stores that they have listed. Select the store you want, click Get Bonus, and you'll be taken to your store of choice. Now shop, the store pays Bonusbay commission, and they provide you bonus. You can get this bonus deposited into your bank account directly. And since they are sponsoring this video, do let them know I sent you by signing up at the URL www.bonusbay.in/c4etech-followers. As a welcome gift, you also get 100 rupees bonus right away. I'll leave a direct link in the description down below. So with that, we get to the end of this video. Hope you guys liked it. Hope you found it useful. If you did, please do give this video a thumbs up. And for more videos like this, do stay subscribed. If you do have any video requests or if you do have any feedback for me, feel free to hit me up on Facebook, Twitter or Google+. The direct links to all my social networks can be found right below that like button in the description. So I guess that's it. Thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, this is Ash here from C4etech signing off. You guys have a great day. Bye bye now.